The week was long, your feet are tired, could use a vacation. Just gather round and join with Dub, it's Monday Motivation. Monday Motivation.
Hello friends, good Monday morning to you. Another week of Monday Motivation, another week of hashtag bdubfit. Don't forget to use the hashtag on bdubfit of everything in the month of June, all the social media posts and what have you, so you're eligible to win the prizes in June. And let's get right into it. So I titled this one Lessons from Superman, and I thought that was fitting, and you'll understand why as we get into the quote, which is a quote that isn't attributed to anybody, I don't think, and that's, your body can stand almost anything. It is your mind that you have to convince. Somebody I'm sure said it the first time, but it's not a quote that I can find attributed to a certain person. It's just one of those kind of business quotes or word quotes. Your body can stand almost anything. It's your mind you have to convince. And I'm going to try to relate to that in a few ways. Primarily, I think a lot of you know I just received a promotion, technically May 1st, a few weeks ago. And as I have started to transition into my new role and out of my old role, I find myself just completely overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I have to do in my new role, and the amount of stuff that just seem to be waiting for somebody to come do it, for somebody to come save the day, so to speak. And I'm a person that's whatever the opposite of procrastination is. When something needs to be done, I go do it. I try to get things done. I hate putting things off till tomorrow. If I have a list, I want to get those things done. I feel accomplished when I do that. It also helps a great deal with my mental health, to not be stressed over things that are weighing on me. Often our to-do lists are very minor, right? They're just things around the house. They're not things of consequence, but they pile up and then they become stressful, and then you're like, oh, well, I need to cut the grass, and I need to go to the garage and clean that out, and I need to do whatever. And none of those things are terribly consequential, but they pile up. So I try to just get things done that are on my to-do list as quickly as I can get things done. So let's talk about why I'm calling this like Lessons from Superman. I think Superman is the best of the superheroes in the sense of he hears with his supersonic hearing or whatever that there's danger, and he turns and he goes just right away. Often in a negative way to his family, to Lois, to his parents or whomever he's with, to his workplace. He just abandons it and goes right away. There's something to do, I turn, I go do it. And that's a big lesson. Now, there's certainly lessons to learn on the other side of that, that we have to understand how to prioritize things. And in Superman's case, he always prioritizes the safety of strangers over his own family, over his own folks. And that's his job. But the lesson is, he sees something, he goes and he does it. Most of the superheroes do a version of that, but there's times where we see Spider-Man getting frustrated or tired, or Batman, seeing the signal and not wanting to go because he's beat up or whatever. We don't see that as much as Superman. And I thought about that as it applies to me. So as I start my new role, and there's all these tasks and all these meetings that no one knew I was getting promoted, but they seemed to just be waiting for me. And it's like I hear the civilian that needs help, and right now I'm going, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like going and doing that right now. Do you understand how many people need my help? And it's very challenging, and it's very frustrating, and it stresses me out because I have all these things now. I went from a span of a responsibility that was pretty big to even bigger, and I still have the pretty big part as well, just at a higher level. And there's elements of each of the worlds that I now have leadership over that are pretty urgent and need help. And I don't know how Superman does it. I don't know how he goes from here to here to here. And the reality is, it's because he's a superhero, because he has super speed and super hearing and super strength and all these things, that he can accomplish all that, but not without the expense of his relationship at times, and his family's relationships at times, and his friends' relationships at times. And that's always, like Supergirl as well, that's always well their story is told, is how it impacts their other relationships. Most superheroes get that same kind of story told. And if I go back to the quote, your body can handle almost anything. It's your mind that you have to convince. If I take what we're talking about and you put it in the realm of like improving your physical health, how many people, when you decide you're going to go back to the gym or whatever your workout is, you're excited. That first day you're ready to go, you're excited. January 1st, 2nd, there are 1 million people at your workout center. By the middle of January, half of them are gone, not to come back until the next January. That's just a reality, and workout establishments know that. And that's because not the body has failed them. It's because the mind has failed them. The mind has started to say, it's too much, don't do it, you got too many other things, just don't do it. It's not your body that says no. Whenever you're trying to do other things, quitting bad habits, it's your mind that tells you you can't do it. It's not your body. It's not your body. Our body is capable of doing almost anything. It's our minds that we have to convince. In work right now, I have the ability to maneuver and handle and provide relief to a number of the challenges that are being faced in my current role. That's why they gave me the opportunity. It's not a skill set I don't possess. I possess it. I just have to convince my mind it's time to do it. Like, I have to change the way I work. Whereas the past several years, with one primary span of responsibility, all my focus was on that. And certainly that had a number of different moving pieces that were going on, but they were all within one realm. Now that there's multiple realms, I have the ability, I know I do, to turn and turn and turn into what needs me here right now, what needs me here right now, what needs me here right now, and do that. But I have to convince my mind to do it. I have to convince my mind. My abilities are there. But mentally, I want to throw a fit, I want to pout and be like, this is unfair. This isn't the way it should be. It's not fair. But it's a promotion. It's a new opportunity, and let's be honest. It's not play. It's not a hobby. It's not a convention. They pay me to do it. So that's the lessons from Superman that I thought about as I was frustrated this week. I'm like, well, if I was a superhero and they're hiring me to be the superhero in this case, he just goes and does it. He does the best he can. And he turns and he goes to the next one and does it. And he doesn't worry about it. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't pause. He just turns, he hears it, he goes to whatever the situation is, and he does his best. He deals with it as he sees fit. That's the lesson from Superman, and I think it's applicable. We're not going to be Superman, but we can have the same mental abilities as him. We can't have the same physical abilities. But our bodies are capable of doing whatever it is we have set out to do on this journey together. They are capable. It's our minds that falter. And I know that, and all of us struggle with it, and a lot of my friends struggle with it, and they talk about it. That being mentally weak in a certain situation is far worse than being physically weak. I encourage you, work on your mental toughness, work on your mental dexterity, where you're able to compartmentalize things. And just because one area of your life may be challenging doesn't mean it has to bleed into this area of your life. And I encourage you to use your mind to convince yourself to keep taking your steps on your healthy habits, whatever that is that you've decided on this year. Because I know, an example for me, going to kickboxing, I go to kickboxing 3 mornings a week, sometimes 4 if I go on Saturday if we don't have something going on. And then usually at least once at night, sometimes twice a night. So there's sometimes I go 6 days a week. And then I do other things. I work out at the house and take walks with the dog, and I got to start running again to get ready for a race we have coming up. But when that Monday morning especially, and I wake up and I've got to work for a couple hours, and then I try to go to kickboxing, and I'm just poo-poo faced. I don't want to do it. I'm tired. My joints hurt. There's no way. I'm just miserable about it. If I can convince myself to go, which I usually can, 9 times out of 10, I can convince myself to go. I feel so much better at the end of it because my body was capable. It was my mind that was struggling, and you can overcome your mind. You just have to work at it. So that's our lesson for this week, this Monday. I hope you all are having a good beginning of June, summertime, time with your family, your friends, whatever. And I will talk to you next week.